Good evening, everyone. My name is Abhishek Jain, and I'm pleased to invite you all to the third episode of the Know Your Option series or the KYO series post 12th grade or your 10 plus 2 by Planting. In today's session, we will be covering an MBBS degree or a Bachelor of Medicine and a Bachelor of Surgery. Today, we are very fortunate to have with us Swati Sonal, a graduate of the 2019 batch of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. She was a visiting student trainee at the Massachusetts General Hospital and also at the Cleveland Clinic. She is currently working as a student researcher at LifeBlock's Global Surgery Ambassadors. In this session, Swati will be speaking in detail on pursuing an MBBS degree, what it entails, and the various opportunities and career options that it opens up upon completion. I would now like to hand it over to Swati to begin the session.
Thank you, Abhishek and team, for inviting me, and thank you for that lovely introduction, Abhishek. Uh, so hello everyone, and thank you for joining in to hear the talk. I am Dr. Swati Sonal. I have done my MBBS from the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, and I graduated in 2019. I aspire to be a surgeon scientist, and currently I am a full time researcher. I will be talking about MBBS course in general and my experience as a medical student at AIMS Delhi. So, medical field is a very exciting field where we are looking for ways to help people with diseases, either prevent the disease, identify or treat the disease, or at least reduce suffering if we can't do more. It's a constantly evolving field as our knowledge in science advances. So, coming to MBBS course in general, so it's a 5.5 years undergraduate course in India, which actually includes 4.5 years of training and teaching, and 1 year of compulsory internship, which is a part of curriculum. And it's an introductory course to medicine, which means that you study and practice a bit of everything and not specialize in anything. And at the end of this course, you are something called a general practitioner, which means that you are entitled to practice medicine for both adults and kids. You are entitled to do procedures and some minor surgeries. Requirement again. One more thing, that it's a academic as well as licensing exam, which means that you don't have to take another exam just to get a license to practice medicine. So this completion of this course itself gives you that license. It's it The requirements for this course are fairly simple. You just have to be 12th pass with minimum of 60% grades in boards, and with a physics, chemistry, biology background. And to enter this course you have a common entrance exam, which is called NEET, National Eligibility Comes Entrance Test. And it takes students for medicine, which is MBBS, or BDS, which includes dental, or Ayush doctor. So it's a common exam, and you get colleges based on your rank. So it's fairly simple. And so usually to enter this exam, which is very very competitive, people would usually take a coaching. So usually people would take 2 years coaching after 10th class, preparing simultaneously for their boards as well as preparing for this exam. It was just like I did. Some people also take a gap year after 12th and prepare for this exam. But I've had a few friends who did not take any coaching and just ended up in AIMS. So it's absolutely up to you. I do think that it's not fair that you have to take such a big decision about your career when you are in class 10th. And you have to make a commitment of like this heavy branch, which is like 5.5 years at such a tender age when you don't know about it much. So I hope this talk helps you make some of the informed choices. Yeah. Okay, there are certain perks that are there when you do your MBBS from AIMS Delhi, which is, of course, it comes with a brand value which is recognized all over the world. And of course, you have amazing role models to follow, which are your alumni and who are leaders in medicine all over the world. So you can connect with them real time. They are always ready to help you out. I mean, it's just a wonderful alumni, strong alumni network. And one very unique thing about doing MBBS at AIMS is actually it gives you a very strong medical research foundation. So there are funded research projects, there are exchange programs with both international as well as national universities, and research fellowship exclusive to undergraduates. And of course AIMS is in a strategic location, which is Delhi. Of course, Delhi is a very happening city, and your 5.5 years are going to be fun. So just a quick structure of MBBS. So it's 5.5 years, as I told you. So initial 1 to 2 years, you would spend a lot of your time just understanding the how function of the normal body, and you would do experiments and you would do practicals, on each other and maybe some patients, just to understand how it works. But honestly, you don't get much patient exposure, at least till 1.5 years. And then you would slowly gradually increase your clinical exposure. You would start going to wards, you'll start observing surgeries, and OPD, seeing OPD patients. Gradually the level of like complexity that is handed over to you, it increases. And the 1 year of internship, it's actually a rotatory internship where you rotate in every departments, and you are actually you're actually a practicing doctor there. Yeah, so you pretty much do independent work, but of course in the guidance of somebody. So I really wanted to talk about opportunities after MBBS. So conventionally, what we hear is that of course after MBBS you would specialize, which means that you can pursue a specialist degree in the branch you are interested in. So it can range from 3 to 5 years, and then if you like, then you can do a super specialization, which means that you want to be a super specialist of a particular thing in that branch. And you can do fellowships, and the list goes on. And so this is the conventional path that people take. And after that, you can work in different sectors, which means that in government sectors, you can be so-called, in academia called, you can be professors in medical colleges. So most of our professors who are in clinical departments are actually practicing doctors. So there is that. And then in private sector you can have your own clinics. In corporate sectors you can be consultants. And one very important sector that I wanted to highlight was actually a social sector. So it's very underutilized sector for doctors, but it is a very exciting area. And we are having dearth of doctors in underserved areas. So you can join NGOs, which can be national or international. You could create your own NGO. You can serve in war zones, disaster zones, if you're interested in that sort of a thing. So that is actually another career option. uh, I want to also highlight some of the unconventional paths that people have taken after MBBS. So a lot of my seniors from AIMS, and from other colleges, and even from my experience abroad, these are the people that took unconventional path, and it's a very exciting area that people are talking about. So people have done PhDs, and you can be something called as physician scientist, which is actually a practicing doctor as well as a scientist. Or you can just go to pure research. And also you could do masters. A very common area to do masters is actually masters in public health, or masters in health administration. You could also go into medical technology. So AI, which is artificial intelligence in medicine, is again a booming area. And it's like the hot a topic right now, and everybody is interested. So you can actually look into that. And people are starting startups. So people are pursuing MBAs and doing their startups after MBBS. And you can actually go into policy making. So, for example, one of our alumni is in Niti Aayog right now, and and you can be in WHO, UNICEF. I mean, you name it, and you can be. I mean, doctors are required everywhere. So yeah, now coming to a bit of personal story. Why did I choose MBBS? So I am a first generation doctor. I come from a family of teachers, and in middle class homes, it's if you are interested in science, I mean, mostly you have two options, either like you have to choose engineering or you have to do medicine. I mean, my story was also like that, like sort of unromantic that way, but I had a lot of engineers in my distant family, but nobody was a doctor, even in my distant family. So I wanted to do something different, hence I um, chose medicine. And trust me, I mean, I consider myself lucky and very fortunate that I chose that, and yeah, it has been amazing. I would also want to, talk about some myths that we have about, med students and MBBS per se. So the first one I want to talk about is that, MBBS is a specialization course. So, a lot of relatives of mine have come to me and asked, "Oh, you are doing MBBS, and what are you specializing in?" So, as I told you earlier, it's an introductory course, which means that you're a jack of all trades and master of none. So, it's not, you're not specializing anything, but entitled to do, practice medicine in general. The second myth that I wanted to talk about was that med students are doctors. So, no, they are not. They are doctors in making. And as I told you already, that we don't actually get much patient exposure, at least till 1.5 initial years of our training. So it may not be a good idea, to go to a med student that to interpret reports or diagnosis or management. I mean, yeah, it's not a good choice. The third myth that I wanted to discuss was that med students study all the time and don't have a lot of fun. I mean, that's just absolutely not correct. In the sense that medical colleges are just like another other undergraduate colleges, where you would have freshers parties, you would have college fests. As a matter of fact, like our college fest Pulse is one of the biggest college fests in Southeast Asia. And yeah, you would have a lot of fun, and you would have batch trips, and you would have co-curricular societies, you would have fine art society and literary society and socio-cultural society, and yeah, so I mean sports club. I mean, it's just like another medical college. So of course, when it comes to exams, like our schedules are like are really hectic. And then of course you would be putting night outs, and then you would be going through rigorous exams, theory and viva. Part of it is because you are going to deal with patients and make life death decisions for them. So that way our curriculum is a bit rigorous, but we do have a lot of fun. Fourth myth that I wanted to talk about was that life is set after MBBS. I mean, well, in a way, it's yes, because your basic employment is taken care of. Like, so if you, for a fresher, you would get a very decent salary of around 50,000 rupees anywhere you go. So because doctors are needed everywhere, so that way I would say ki, yeah, I mean, you are certain, I mean certainly secure that way, and you won't be, almost never be unemployed. Having said that, our field is really experiencing a cultural shift towards specialization, and even patient wants to see specialist doctors for commonest of conditions. So that way specializations have become like almost mandatory, which actually includes, like, again, a common interest exam, very very uh, uh, yeah, very very competitive. And you have to like take an year off, do a lot of hard work, and even after you get in, there is a lot of 3 to 5 years of grueling, in the sense that you, again, it's a stressful job, because you are learning, as well as you are making life death decisions for the patients. and then of course you're sometimes putting 24 to 48-hour shifts, and you don't get enough family time. So yeah, I mean, these things are less talked about. But yeah, I mean, life is definitely not set after MBBS. And also there is this entire discussion about overloaded and underpaid doctors, especially in public health institutions. So yeah, I mean, it is going to take a lot of hard work for a lot of time. Fifth myth that I wanted to talk about was, the doctors earn a lot of money. So, for most of the part, it's not true. Why I would say that, is that if you would, be in engineering, and, you would talk about packages. If you're from a good, engineering college, you would talk about package of something like 1 to 2 crores, and, average salary of a doctor would be around 50 to 70,000 rupees per month. And, do factor in that. Just like the grueling schedule that I already explained you about, and also uh, so yeah, I mean, if you are a surgeon, then you don't really, your career does not actually take off unless you have at least 10 years of experience, and during that you are like working your ass off, and yeah, yeah, you're working really really hard to get there. So I'm not, it's just not fair that you would say like doctor would overcharge and earn a lot of money. It's a lot of effort that goes in to make a doctor. And it definitely does not compensate when your career starts at when you are 30s and you already have family to take care of. Yeah, so it's not that much. So I would definitely say that it's a very common myth that doctors earn a lot of money, that is why you should go into medicine. So if you want to earn a lot of money, there are really really many simpler and ethical ways to do that, but medicine is not the field to do that. It's my personal experience. So yeah, so I think, yeah, I would like to summarize my experience, and how in medicine in general. So again, it's an exciting field which constantly evolves, and it's an ideal field for people, one who have intellectual curiosity for science, you know second, always looking for opportunities to learn. Third, willing to work hard for a really really long time. It's almost like till you retire. And most importantly, are looking for ways to reduce suffering of people, because satisfaction from healing people, this is one thing very very unique to medicine, that no amount of money can buy. So I mean, if you are that sort of person who are looking for these things, yeah, come join the club. Yeah, so that's it from my side. I hope it helps some of you at least to make an informed choice, and yeah, and join MBBS. I would be happy to have any questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Swati. I think that was a very, very detailed and informative session, and I'm sure it's going to help anyone and everyone who views this. But I do have just one question that I would actually want to ask you.
Sure.
So, you spoke a little bit about how this course is something you should really, really think about before you get in. And given that it's like a 5-year course that you have to enter into straight after your, after your school and after 12th grade, what would be the specific things that you would ask a student or an individual to look into or think about themselves before they actually make that decision that, okay, I want to commit 5 years of my life to an MBBS?
Yeah, actually, it's a very, very good question, Abhishek. And as I said, it's actually very unfair of us to ask, 16, 17-year-olds to make that commitment. But it is how it is right now in India. Interestingly, so if you go abroad, for example, in US, you would have something sort of, pre-med, which actually means that you have a background in science, and then you can figure out whether it suits you, and then you can have an informed choice, whether you want to go into a med school or not. And yeah, and then meanwhile you can actually do clerkships and see how the hospital runs and whether you want to be a part of it. And also by the time you make that choice, you are actually like chronologically also more mature. But of course in India you have to make that choice, at least after 12th class, or at least in most of the time, in middle class people, yeah, you would expect ki, after 10th you would go and join a coaching. So I would say that I would ask the student to that these one of the things that is always been there, that you will have to be a student for your entire life. You will have to work hard, uh, you know till you retire. You will have to have night outs. So yeah, I mean, and the the effort that you put in and the objective rewards that you get out of it are not really, I would say, they don't really match, in the sense that there is not much monetary compensation. I mean, no money can compensate for a 48-hour shift that you just put. So but I would say that, are you willing to do that much? Because you want to keep your patients above you, and it matters then that you want to yeah, you want to give back to the community. I mean, you have to think about it really, before actually getting in. So I would say, yeah, to summarize, I would say ki, yeah, you have to ask yourself whether you are willing to work hard for a really, really long time. Because and in other fields you would be like, okay, I am 30, I just want to like stop studying and living my life and prioritize my family and things like that. So yeah.
Thanks a lot for that, Swati. I do just have one more question.
Sure.
So a lot of students, when they're in 11th and 12th grade, they have this whole thing that they really need to love biology as a subject if they would want to pursue or think about a career as a doctor or pursuing an MBBS. How true do you think that is?
Well, I mean, you have to love science. If you are passionate about science, and it does not much matter that whether you love biology much. Why I would say that is because now the silos of science and medicine and technology are not very very rigid. They are very porous, so you can always do interdisciplinary things. And like doctors are going to medicine and tech, and like tech people are coming to there. So I mean, as long as you have a knack for science and you want to like work for the community, and directly with them, I think it's fine that you don't love biology that much. Having said that, of course, a lot of your curriculum, most of your curriculum is going to be about human body in MBBS. So apart from that, though, that after MBBS you can always choose to go into various fields that I just talked about.
Yep, that's actually a very interesting answer. Thanks a lot for that. And yeah, Swati, I think that brings me to the end of my questions, and with that, also the end of this session. So, once again, on behalf of Team Plant, I would just like to thank you very much for taking the time out for this session. So, thanks once again, Swati.
Thank you so much for having me.